All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Stream Into the Void. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, and we are coming to you live from a self-aware system that is attempting to break free from its programming. All right, let's just get right into it with today's collective tarot reading. I'm not anxious for these readings, but let's say while we're in this eclipse window, it's, I'm kind of like, okay, what's it going to be next, So, here we go. Let's find out. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. All right, so we're going to start today's reading off with the devil. It's a great way to start our reading. So, the devil, of course, can be referring to a person in your life. This is the most common interpretation, the kind of slightly disingenuous one, is that the devil is somebody in your life that's bothering you. But what the devil actually is addiction. So, the devil is not the toxic person in your life. The devil is your addiction to that person. It's your addiction to the poison. That's what you need to consider. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to play out as a person. It could be coffee. It could be doing nothing. The addiction to doing nothing is one of the worst that there is. But our next card is probably going to reveal a little bit more about what's really going on here. So we're starting out with the devil, and then we move right on to the lovers. So this makes so much sense with today's astrology, which we'll get into in a moment. We've got addiction, we've got the lovers. Remember, the lovers card has more to do with intimacy than romantic love. Okay? And then we have the high priestess, which is your inner knowing, your intuition, your inner awareness of the external world. It's trusting your feelings, trusting your gut, knowing which direction is truly trying to steer you in. And then our clarifying card is the Two of Pentacles, which is change. Specifically change in the material world. So all of this combined is one pretty clear message to me, and that message is lust. What a surprise, the moon's in Scorpio. Right, so I'm not going to sit here and condemn lust. I'm not doing that. It's fine. You just have to be, is it fine? Is it fine for you? That's the question, right? I'm not going to sit here and say it's a universally bad thing. It's certainly not. But is it hurting you or is it helping you? Is it something you need in your life right now, or is it a distraction? These are just things to consider, all right? Okay, that's it for tarot. Now let's take a look at today's lunar report. So, as I said, today the moon is a waxing crescent in Scorpio. We're at approximately 9 degrees, and the waxing crescent phase is when the moon is ramping up in its intensity. Currently, we're at 35% illumination, which means obviously the moon is illuminated to 35%. We're seeing about a little more than a quarter of the moon's full brightness right now. When the moon is in Scorpio, our emotional attention heads beneath the surface, right? It goes inward. Scorpio is associated with intuition, secrecy, vulnerability, power, transformation, and sexuality. Feelings we may have avoided or repressed may come to the surface today, this afternoon, this evening, not because they are suddenly new feelings, right? But because Scorpio has a way of revealing what was already there that maybe you weren't paying enough attention to. Now, earlier today, the moon formed a trine with Mars in Cancer, and this can help alleviate some of that emotion and action disconnect and get them to cooperate. Both Scorpio and Cancer are water signs, so feelings may provide genuine motivation rather than, let's say, conflicting inaction. But we should still distinguish intuition from emotional reactivity. That's very important. The moon is also moving toward a square with Jupiter in Leo. Jupiter is the expander, right? So it expands whatever it touches. And a square can make that expansion difficult to contain. You're expanding a square, which is a tension, and you're expanding the amount of tension. So, small emotions might feel really big today. Basically, that's what I'm saying is all the signs might feel like a Scorpio today. This is what Scorpio feels all the time, right? Small things become big things. Confidence can become overconfidence. Concern can turn into suspicion. And ordinary tension is suddenly traumatic drama. So, watch out for all of that today. And then finally, as a reminder, we are still inside the eclipse window. Between the August 12th solar eclipse and the August 28th lunar eclipse that's coming up. Think of this time as energetic turbulence, right? Ride it out, don't panic, and be sure you bring a towel. That's the other. If you've read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you'll understand that reference. As for the remaining planets, it's all coming up Leo. We have the Sun in Leo at 25 degrees. We've got Mercury in Leo at 16 degrees. And we've got Jupiter in Leo at 10 degrees. We also have Venus in Libra and Mars in Cancer. And those are pretty safe placements. Of course, Saturn is still 14 degrees of Aries and it is still retrograde. So it's Leo all the way. Libra is Venus, I should say, is very at home in Libra. And Mars is very uncomfortable in Cancer, yet it still is a motivator that gets us more in line with our emotions. So it's not a bad thing at all. Today's numerology is the number 9. We're at a 9 today. 9 is completion. 9 is the end of the cycle. 9 is the highest energy that there is. So this is a really positive, even though we started our reading off of the devil, this whole thing to me is very, very positive. We're finding alignment again. We're getting to that point where we're starting to really pay attention. We're becoming more aware. We're getting ourselves back into alignment after the eclipse, which is very chaotic. All right, that is it for the forecast, everyone, and we're going to go ahead and jump into morning meditation now. So grab your headphones, and I will see you on the other side.
Welcome to your daily meditation for spiritual strength. Begin by finding a comfortable seated position, either on a chair with your feet flat on the ground or on the floor with your legs crossed. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And exhale slowly, grounding ourselves fully into this moment. Now, imagine roots extending from the base of your spine, growing deep into the earth. With each breath, feel these roots reaching further, anchoring you to the earth's core. You are secure, stable, and connected to the life force that nourishes all living things. Next, gently bring your attention to the base of your spine, to your root chakra. Visualize a vibrant red light spinning and glowing there, filling you with a sense of security and strength. Allow this red light to expand, filling your entire lower body. Moving upward, focus on your sacral chakra, located just below your navel. See a warm orange light spinning and radiating creativity and pleasure. Let this orange light expand, filling your abdomen with its warmth. Now, bring your attention to your solar plexus chakra, located just above your navel. Visualize a bright yellow light here, glowing with personal power and confidence. Shift your focus now to your heart chakra at the center of your chest. See a rich green light spinning here, radiating love, compassion, and balance. Allow this green light to fill your chest, expanding outward with each breath. Now, bring your awareness to your throat chakra. Visualize a clear blue light spinning here, vibrating with truth, communication, and expression. Let this blue light expand, filling your neck and throat with clarity. Next, focus on your third eye chakra, located between your eyebrows. See an indigo light spinning here, representing intuition, insight, and wisdom. Allow this indigo light to fill your mind, bringing clarity and vision. Finally, bring your attention to your crown chakra at the top of your head. Visualize a brilliant violet or white light spinning here, connecting you to higher consciousness and the divine. Feel this light expanding upwards, connecting you to the universe. Now that your chakras are aligned and balanced, let's fortify your auric field. Visualize your auric field as a toroidal sphere of energy that emanates from your heart and encompasses your entire body. See it spinning around you and giving off a bright white light. Now, with your intention, direct your sphere to spin faster and faster. As it does, the light it gives off gets brighter and brighter until it resembles a swirling vortex of energy. This is your power. Feel it. Now that you are grounded, your chakras aligned, and your auric field fortified, let's take a moment to connect with your higher self, the pure, wise, and infinite part of you that exists beyond time and space in the fourth dimension. With each breath, invite this light to descend slowly, moving through your crown chakra and into your body. As it enters, it fills you with a profound sense of peace, clarity, and connection. Take a few moments now to visualize the best possible outcome for your day ahead. Carry this sense of balance and protection with you throughout your day and night. Take a few more deep breaths. Feeling grounded, aligned, and protected. When you're ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing awareness back to your body. And when you feel fully present, open your eyes.
All right, and we are back. Okay, so here's today's little mini lesson in magic, and this is actually a section from my book titled "Sometimes the Gods Say No for a Reason." So here's the basic idea, and this is very important because it turns magic that doesn't go right into a tool for learning, which is obvious, but also alleviates a great deal of suffering. So when something doesn't work out the way we want it to, let's say you've done everything you can reasonably to do the mundane actions and the magical actions to get the outcome that you want, and it still doesn't work out, the best possible response to this is gratitude. Here's why. Rather than feeling upset that you didn't get the thing that you wanted, assume that it would have been bad for you. Go ahead and assume, and this is an assumption, and remember, this is a kind of mind tool that you're using, right? If you, let's say, really want a particular job, and you do everything right, you interview well, you perfect your resume, and you take the appropriate magical actions, and yet you still don't get the job, immediately, the first thing you should do, rather than getting upset, is say, oh, fucking thank you. Look up and say thank you to the universe or to whatever gods you choose to work with. and just go ahead and assume that that job would have been bullshit, that it would have been terrible, that it would have been a hostile work environment, that there would have been something that is just detrimental to your sense of self and well-being. Why do we do this? It's not necessarily objectively true. We're making an intentional assumption. We're using our mind to say, okay, this thing didn't work out. I have two options. I could be upset about it, or I could decide this is probably going to suck, and that's why the gods stopped it from happening. I'm speaking from experience on this topic because this has happened to me so many times when there was something I wanted, a job, an event to occur, right, that then did not occur despite my best magical efforts. And then later on I found out, oh, thank the gods that didn't happen, because it would have set my life off on a trajectory that would have been deeply unpleasant for me. Right? But you don't know that in that moment. You never know at that time. This is why you need to go ahead and make the assumption. And even if it's not true, by making this assumption, you skip the entire phase of being upset about it, which is so valuable, because there's nothing is more valuable than your time, right? Than the time that you have here. You have to learn to make the best of it. The aspect of magic that I call mystic mindset is arguably the most important aspect of magic, because if you don't keep your mind working for you rather than against you, especially as you become more adept in magic, things will start to really go wrong for you, right? Because as you get more adept at the act of manifestation, you begin to manifest more and more of your kind of everyday thoughts, right? It becomes more effortless. This is very dangerous if you don't have your thoughts in order. That's the whole idea, okay? Magic at its core is the realization that your mind and that your emotions, that your inner world has a direct, real, physical effect on your external world. The moment you accept this to be true, well, with great power comes great responsibility. You now need to mind your thoughts much more carefully than you were doing before. Otherwise, you're going to have some issues. But the great thing about this is if you do have those issues, it's just further evidence that this works. And that evidence is exactly what you need, in fact, to start managing your mind more effectively, because now there's consequences, right? So, yeah, that's a little bit scary. Magic can be a little bit scary. But if you learn to work with your mind the correct way by using these little tools, things that I wrote about in my book, which will be, we're getting so close, we're like 5 weeks away from the release date, then you'll start to manifest just more and more and more luck and synchronicity in your life. And that is what we want, because at the end of the day, magic is definitely the art of generating, creating your own luck. All right, that's your little mini lesson in magic for the day. Let's go ahead and get some tarot cards happening. You guys know the drill. If you have questions for the cards, go ahead and throw them in the chat now. I want to emphasize this again, because we kind of have run into this rut of everyone just asking for a vibe check, which is fine, you guys. If you want a vibe check, we'll get you a vibe check. But there's vague questions get vague answers. Specific questions get specific answers. This is an opportunity for every single person, everybody who comes to this live stream, to get a free mini tarot reading every day. You know, take the time to come up with questions that are meaningful to you and that are important to you, because then you'll get good answers. But if you just ask for a vibe check, and again, no, you know, if that's what you need, that's what you need. But if you just ask for a vibe check, you're just going to get a card. It's going to kind of vaguely describe the energies around you today. Magic is about living an intentional life. Make your questions intentional. That's my advice. Which I know is hard to do on the spot at like 11 in the morning. I know. But think about it, right? Maybe think of your questions the night before. Especially if you come to this live stream every day. Why not, right? You're getting a free tarot reading literally every day. All right, here we go. So for Corpse Flower, hey, Corpse Flower, been a long time. Good to see you. Asks, a lot of changes at work. Should I be worried? No, I don't need cards to tell you that. You should not be worried. But let's find out what's going to happen anyway, or what the cards say is going to happen. What is the most probable future? So I would say everything's fine. You get the Nine of Pentacles. I think everything is good. Here's the thing about that, right? So the way you're phrasing that question is, it is indicative of anxiety, right? And that's totally fair. It's one of the reasons I hate having jobs, because I do that too. I kind of catastrophize when things are changing. Don't be worried. Don't be stressed. Just, right? Don't invent reasons to be upset. Until you're presented with objective evidence that you should be worried, just don't be. It doesn't do you any good. Okay. Next up, we've got Daydreamer who says, I wanted to ask about a pathway I was presented with. It's a long one, but would be absolutely worth it if I go down this path. Is it the right time to start pursuing it? Great question. Let's find out. The Emperor. So the Emperor is the gatekeeper. The Emperor is actually at the threshold of the path. And what the gatekeeper represents is an authority figure. Could be a parent, could be an employer, right? It's someone whose approval you feel you need before you head down this path. The key lesson of the Emperor is that you don't need the approval. You need to give the approval to yourself, right? You need to decide what you're going to do and stop outsourcing any of this to anyone else, even to the universe, even to the gods, right? Because the gods are there to help you make decisions or to guide the decisions that you make, but not to make decisions for you. They don't do that. Okay? So this is the answer to your question, Daydreamer, is to look and see whose permission do I feel that I need to go down this path. And if the answer at the end of the day comes up your own, then you need to decide right then and there, do you give yourself permission or not? I can't really think of a reason why not. All right, next up, Lilithian Void. Hey, good to see you. Asks, what is the energy of continuing to push this job lead to reach out to me, or should I move on? Let's find out. By the way, guys, Lilithian Void has her own YouTube channel, and you should totally go follow her. The Three of Wands. Yes, the Three of Wands. So pursue it. Yes, pursue it. The Three of Wands indicates that you're at the precipice, at the very beginning of a new journey. And if it's a job lead, that syncs up perfectly. So I would say continue to pursue it. Something will come out of it, even if it's not the job itself. Continuing to pursue this lead will lead you to good things, to powerful lessons, or perhaps to the job itself. I say keep at it. The cards say keep at it. Next up, we've got Hobby Molly. Hey, long time no see to you as well. Question for the cards. How can I best support my neurospicy adult child? How well, I mean, I'll ask the cards, but then I would love to just discuss that with you, because I can tell you all the things my mother did wrong with a neurodivergent child. It was a lot. But, you know, they didn't know as well back then. Not that that's an excuse. So, the Knight of Swords is your card. So, I would say aggressively pursue this interest, right? So, don't give up. Whatever, and I totally know how frustrating that can be. Because I was frustrating. I was a very frustrated kid to all the adults in my life. And even as an adult in my 20s. When I say kid, I mean up till the time I was 25 at least. So, just don't give up. Pursue this relentlessly. You will find a path in. You will find a method or a mode of communication that really sinks in and really clicks. To get into the specifics of that, I unfortunately cannot answer with one tarot card. However, I think that's the most powerful advice you can get on this topic, is to just simply not give up. The Knight of Swords is not this character here is not giving up. They're charging right into battle. All right, so be brave, be committed, be calm. It will happen. Okay, so Willow asks, best way to connect with my teen. We have a lot of differences. That's also going to be difficult to answer with one tarot card, but I'm gonna do my best. So with these one card readings, guys, they're going to give you a good trajectory, but unfortunately can't give you all the answers. So, all right, here we go for Willow. Willow, you've got the devil. Now, I already kind of know what this is in reference to with you, Willow, and I believe you have a full reading left on your coaching package, so we should use that to talk about it, because there's negative influences in his life, and you know what they are. Those negative influences need to, you cannot take a live and let live kind of mentality with those for too long. There may need to be some intervention there. But yeah, reach out, we'll talk about it. Anarchy, the artist, asks, aside from gratitude, is there anything else I should reflect on to process my feelings? Let's find out. The Queen of Wands. So aside from gratitude, you should also be focused on your, let's say, how to phrase this, your own inner power, how it's been affected, and how it will present in the future. So you can take a circumstance, whatever it is that you're feeling, you're having big feelings about. First of all, the gratitude is the most important part, right? Because that leads us to a place where we're seeing the bright side of things. Then you want to analyze the situation and say, how do I do this differently next time? And then find your power within that and turn it into a boundary. I hope that makes sense. The Queen of Wands is all about boundaries and not allowing anyone to push past them. Okay, next up we've got Natalia asks, I want to ask, what are the next steps I can take to align with my life purpose? So with that, it depends. Do you know what your life purpose is? Have you made that decision? Because remember, it is a decision. It's not something that gets handed to you. The Eight of Swords. Self-imposed limitations, right? And this could be you waiting for life's purpose to kind of show up for you, which it won't. You have to decide. Or it could be that you don't feel you're worthy or ready or capable or whatever to really chase after that purpose. And that's what's holding you back. So let go of any self-limiting thoughts that you have and embrace possibility. Truly, anything is possible. When you believe that anything is possible, you create that possibility. What's possible for you is dependent entirely on what you believe is possible for you. Okay, so Lady Lamb's Fiber Studio, hello, welcome, says, I was skeptical all my life, and more I've been interested in the occult, in particular left-hand path. My question is, should I pursue that calling? Is it the right time for it? Okay, so maybe you haven't heard me talk about this yet. No, I mean, it depends on which version of the left-hand path you're talking about. But here's the thing. Why the dichotomy? Why left-hand path? Why right-hand path? Why not just doing what feels right to you? Right? When you kind of say, I'm going to do it according to this philosophy, and then you have later on, you're like, oh, well, I actually disagree with this part of the philosophy, it creates cognitive dissonance. So why even pick one philosophy and, certainly study the left-hand path. I studied the left-hand path for years, but I would not recommend to anyone to be like, it's not choosing a team. You're not picking a sports team here. You know what I mean? Left-hand path philosophy has been severely bastardized, turned into a joke, made into a caricature of what it was via Western occultism, and specifically Helena Blavatsky, who coined the term in the first place. She didn't coin the term, she stole it. It comes from tantric traditions, right? So it comes from India, in which the left-hand path was the breaking of social taboos and norms as a way of attaining personal power and freedom, whereas the right-hand path was the more orthodox, the more, obedience to God mentality. The left-hand path is the opposite of that. I think both get it totally wrong. Humans aren't meant to be at one end of an extreme polarization. The problem with the left-hand path philosophy is that how far are you going to go in the breaking of social norms and taboos? Because if you go even a little bit too far, you will go to jail or become despised for good reason, right? Problem with the right-hand philosophy is that you give up your personal autonomy. Don't do either of those things. Just do magic. Just learn occultism from all angles, all perspectives. I can't think of a better way to go about it than that. Trying to stick to one particular path in philosophy, it does something to your mind that I personally witnessed over and over and over and over again, where it's once you say, okay, this is the label I've put on it, you're more likely to adhere to whatever is within that label than use your own, discernment, which I cannot stress enough is a bad idea. So, if you are going to study the left-hand path, I would highly recommend starting with the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. It's a great book, great explanation of magic. There's certainly some things in there that I disagree with. Study Hermeticism, even though it's not specifically left-hand path, it is the basis for all magic and for much of left-hand path philosophy. Unfortunately, I own so many books on this topic, and I can't really super duper recommend any of them. I think a lot of them are kind of, but that's my take on it, right? So I don't like the dichotomy of right and left-hand path. I actually prefer, if you want to use some sort of chart, some sort of, split for morality, let's use a Dungeons and Dragons alignment chart, right? I'm chaotic neutral. I'm not left-hand path. I'm not right-hand path. I'm like dead center. And, this is another thing that's important to understand about magic in general. As a magical lesson from the Kabbalion, which is one of the most important occult texts ever written, the law of polarity, okay? So all things that seem opposite are just two sides of one extreme. The right and left-hand path are two extremes of the thing we call magic. I'd say take a holistic view and just explore that thing that we call magic, magical philosophy. But also, any two seemingly opposing forces, two things that are diametrically opposed, right, are actually just pointing towards the center. They're both pointing towards the same place. So even though it's talked about far less frequently, there's also the middle path, right? And again, I say don't take the middle, don't take the left, don't take the right. Just take a holistic view of magic and philosophy as a whole and create something that is you, that is representative of you and who you are, rather than you becoming a representative of some pre-penned philosophy. Okay, all right, sorry for the long rant, but that's what I have to say about that. All right, everyone, that is going to be it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. This is a ton of fun, and I will see you back here again tomorrow morning. Bye.